news for people who can't stand the news. Mass incarceration. I understand you have some very progressive ideas about alleviating it. Yeah, so please explain if you got time.
Yes. So this is another big issue in my campaign. Wasserman Schultz is a drug warrior. She takes money from private prison companies, huge private prison companies, and she has been pushing for private prisons. She pushed for a privatized immigration detention center right here in the district, in Southwest Ranches is the neighborhood. And she takes a lot of money from political action committees for big alcohol, beverage, wine and beer companies, and she calls marijuana a gateway drug. She opposed medical marijuana when it was on the ballot statewide 2 years ago, and it almost passed. It needed 60% of the votes statewide, and it was about 2% short. It's going to come up again this November, another statewide referendum on medical marijuana, and I really do expect it will pass this time. The polls are showing it's pretty good, but you never know. The lobbies will spend a lot of money against it at the end. So I've been very clear where I stand, and I have been for years. I support medical marijuana. I say the federal government should get out of the way and stop trying this war on drugs. It hasn't worked. It's been a failure. Let states and let voters decide their own drug policies. Here in South Florida, Miami-Dade and Broward counties have effectively moved towards decriminalizing possession of small amounts of marijuana, where the police have the discretion to issue summonses for the first 3 offenses for possession of minor amounts. I think this war on drugs, I'm sure I'm not telling you anything you don't know. It's racially discriminatory in the way it's enforced. We have been locking up way too many young men, mostly African American, Hispanic, and Native American, for using the same drugs that, according to the public opinion surveys, a majority of the American people have used, and probably the last 3 American presidents. And it's just wrong. It's not solving anything. It's destroying people's lives. It hampers, mostly young black men for the rest of their lives. It makes it more difficult for them to get jobs, to get loans for education, to vote for the rest of their lives in the state of Florida, for nonviolent convictions. So we should stop treating the drugs like this as a criminal justice problem. It should be seen as a public health problem, and it should be seen as something that adults should have the liberty to make their own informed choices, as long as they're not hurting others. And if they're hurting themselves, then it really has to be seen as a public health and a mental health problem.
Wow. Look, listen to this, guys. Common sense when it comes to marijuana. Wow. Give it up for Tim Canova, common sense. Drug laws. Well, that's what I'm talking about.